And we're live here. Let's go Trailblazer football right here on the Fan Sports Network, Trailblazer Sports Vision. Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster. Another Saturday night. Here we go. And glad to be with you here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden, 0-2 tonight. And Utah Tech hosting NAU. This is where the season begins, though, really for Coach Anderson and the Trailblazers after, two really tough games. But now a Big Sky School coming in and high hopes here tonight for the home faithful.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably the first game that we've seen this season where it feels like there's a little bit of life in the team. It feels like, hey, this is one we can go out there and win. We knew UNLV was going to be tough. We knew Montana State was going to be tough, but we beat Northern Arizona last year. Maybe we could do it again this year. They're going to come in with some life today. That
was a big lead going to about midway through the fourth quarter, and then NAU had a furious rally, but it was never really in jeopardy of losing that game. So a lot of fun tonight. We are here. You could see Tailgate, Greater Zion Stadium. We're outside at the Atwood Plaza getting ready for kickoff here, and it's all presented by Sand Hollow Resort. Get your tee times, stay in the villas, check out the Rock Bowl and the Fall Concert Series. It's absolutely fantastic at sandhollowresort.com for more details. And Caden, you had a chance to talk with brand new defensive coordinator Coach Monahan, and the defense actually, go back to week one, looked really, really good. I know they lost to the number 4 team in the country, Montana State, but that defense was the heart and soul of that team in week one.
It was. It really showed that this team has a little bit of something, and it's on the defensive side. We know that the offensive side needed to work out and iron out some of those kinks, but the defensive side looked really good to start off in week one. So, yeah, he's kind of got him coached up, ready to go. It was fun to talk to him. I'm excited to get to that interview.
We'll get to some players. We'll get to Ken Beezer, athletic director of the Trailblazers. He can drop by later here in our pregame show. But right now, Caden talk with Coach Moynihan.
Welcome in, everybody, to Coordinator's Corner, where we get to know our Utah Tech coaches just a little bit better. In today's Coordinator's Corner, we have the defensive coordinator, Coach Patrick Moynihan. Hey, welcome in. I'm excited to meet you and get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Well, in part of getting to know you, I want to kind of take a step back and let's talk about football for a little bit, about kind of your career. Where'd you first off, where'd you grow up? Where were you at playing high school ball and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I grew up in on the East Coast, up in Massachusetts there, and then so I played high school football at a Catholic school in Boston.
Okay, sweet. So transferring from there, did you get the opportunity to play college ball, or did you just realize, hey, coaching is the life for me? Where did your path go next?
Yeah, so I played at the small college level, the non-scholarship level. I really enjoyed my time. I really enjoyed my experience, and it's one of those things where, all right, hey, when I couldn't play anymore, I didn't really want to work a corporate job. That wasn't really for me, and so I thought, hey, I'd kind of go back to New England and maybe teach and coach and kind of figure out some things. And then I was just fortunate where the coordinator that I played for, he got a Division III job in Ohio. And so he asked me, he said, hey, we have this kind of part-time, season-only job. You want to come out here and kind of help me install the defense and just see how you'll like it? And so I decided, sure, why not? And then, I was just really fortunate where I enjoyed that first season. I enjoyed what I was doing, and some other coaches moved on, and so I was able to be in more of a permanent full-time type of role after that first season.
I love that. So then how did getting into the coaching world land you here in Southern Utah? This boy from New England coming to St. George, Utah. Tell me about that experience and coming down here to St. George.
Yeah, absolutely. So I spent 4 seasons at the Division III level at Kenyon College, like a small liberal arts school out in Ohio. And then after the 4th season, I kind of felt just career-wise I was a little bit stuck, and so I wanted to try and be a graduate assistant somewhere and at the higher level. And I got really lucky where I applied to a grad program out at Stanford University, and I was fortunate enough to be accepted when they needed a grad assistant to help with the defensive line. And so that's how I got to know Coach Anderson. So I spent about 5 or so seasons working under him there, and then after we moved on, I went back to New England. I went back to Division III to St. Lawrence University as coordinator last year. And then when Coach Anderson got this job, he asked me, hey, if I'd be interested, if I'd be willing to come here and stuff like that. And I was really excited for the opportunity.
That's awesome. That's exciting. Your time in Stanford, who are some of the notables that people would know from your days there?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think here. Probably It was kind of towards the end of the Stanford years. From a defensive standpoint, I'd say probably our most marquee player was Thomas Booker, who's a defensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Now, and then on offense, Davis Mills, the quarterback who started a handful of games for the Texans.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Well, you're here in Southern Utah, a little bit different than New England.
Yes.
For sure, and different than Massachusetts where you grew up. How are you acclimating here to Southern Utah so far?
I like it. You know, you can't beat the weather, especially kind of the months that we're heading into now, and then kind of St. George in this area is a really nice place for me and my wife, and then Utah Tech as a university, kind of where they're at now and kind of their vision, their plan for the future is something I think is really exciting to be a part of.
It is exciting, and I know that the future is bright, and personally on the media side, we're really excited about where the team is heading. You've got a couple games under your belt so far, and still trying to get that first win of the season, but I'm sure you're learning things, you're growing. How about this test against UNLV, who you knew was going to be a really tough program coming into it, and boy, were they. I'm sure you can absolutely agree with that. What do you take then into practices this last week where you then prepare yourself for NAU?
Yeah, absolutely. I really think that last game, it was a great learning opportunity, not only for the players, but for me as a coach as well. I think it really showed that, hey, when you're playing good teams like that, you have to be on it player-wise from an execution standpoint, both in terms of the scheme and the fundamentals and the technique. Then from my standpoint as a coach, I really have to be on it in terms of preparation, how I prepare the guys, again, not only from a scheme standpoint, but also from a situational standpoint as well. And so I hope the biggest thing that we can take away from it is, hey, we have to be able to practice well during the course of the week if we want to be able to play well on Saturday. And then also, hey, when we're on the field, being able to do my 111th, being able to do my particular job, how important that is each and every snap.
Now, last year, Utah Tech did get the win over Northern Arizona.
Yeah.
Different teams, different people, a different coaching staff this year. So there's different scheming and things like that going on here. But going into this game, a lot of the returners, they know, hey, we've been able to beat these guys before. Is there a little bit more hype and excitement going into this game this week, knowing that, hey, this is an FCS opponent that we have a shot against? Is there a little bit of momentum going into this week?
I think so. I mean, at least especially Monday, Tuesday, and then carrying into this morning from a practice standpoint, there's been much more energy, much more effort, and then a higher level of execution than there was last week, whether it's, hey, kind of like you said, hey, kind of a different level of excitement, or just an awareness and understanding of, hey, kind of what the standard is, what we're looking for during practice. But frankly, I'm hoping that it's all right, hey, how we practiced Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, how we're going to practice Thursday, that can really carry into Saturday and give the guys a tremendous amount of confidence.
Yeah, I think confidence is definitely the key, and if practices are going well, I think that Trailblazer fans are going to be excited for the game for this Saturday, right, against Northern Arizona. And it's always nice to play at home. I'm sure the guys get to sleep in their own beds. From your perspective on the defensive side, give me a couple names of some guys this season that are really just standing out above the rest.
Absolutely. I think in the back end, our safety Brevin Hamblin, he's a guy from Syracuse High School up north. He's someone who the past 2 weeks has done a very good job in terms of what we are looking for. I think up front, Leighton Tanavasa, hey, we're hoping that he can keep on progressing, and then John Sniffen, kind of two more upperclassmen, leader type guys, and then from an inside linebacker standpoint, hey, kind of the progress that a guy like Spencer Rich has made between game 1 and game 2. We're hoping that we can continue there.
Well, we're excited to see what you guys bring out to the field against Northern Arizona this week. So again, Coach Patrick Moynihan, thank you for joining us here for our Coordinator's Corner today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We got a break coming up. More on the other side with the Fan Sports Network.
Huge news! Sport Court has a brand new showroom and design center, and it's next level. See why so many are choosing Sport Court here in Southern Utah for top quality basketball, pickleball, and multi-purpose courts. Learn more at sportcourtofsouthernutah.com.
Your child's sports journey starts with the City of St. George Recreation. From their first steps on the court or field to becoming a star player, our youth sports programs are here to develop talents and teamwork skills. So get out and play. Check out all the sports and get signed up at sgcityrec.org.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
Red Rock Real Estate has over 200 professional realtors in the St. George area that specialize in the local market. Whether you're buying your dream home, looking for an investment property, or want to sell your home for the highest amount, the Red Rock Real Estate team is here to assist you. Get started now by visiting redrockrealestate.com.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Glad you're with us here. Welcome back to the Tailgate Show here live from outside Greater Zion. Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster. It's all presented by Sand Hollow Resort. Appreciate all our other local sponsors. We got Ernie Stores bringing you the coverage tonight. Swinson & Shelley, Sun State Companies, and our pregame brought to you by Sport Court of Southern Utah. Well, great stuff there, Caden, with Coach Moynihan. Hopefully the defense can get it going. Big test tonight. We're closing in on kickoff. It's NAU here in St. George taking on Utah Tech. Let's get to know Chris Street a little bit more. Got to go one-on-one with the running back earlier this week. Enjoy. Talking with Chris Street, Utah Tech running back. Chris, what's going on, buddy? Good to have you stop by.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Big game last week. First 2 weeks have been a gauntlet. I want to get into that. We're going to talk about the game coming up tonight. That's this Saturday night. That's NAU. But first and foremost, let's get to know Chris Street a little bit. Right. Tell us where you're from, what you're studying, and how you landed here in St. George, Utah.
So I'm originally from Eastville, California. I've pretty much lived there my entire life. I'm a sociology major, and I ended up here because I'm a transfer from UC Berkeley. Just kind of ended up in the portal. Wasn't really happy where I was at, so I got in the portal and immediately got a text from one of the coaches, my position coach actually, Jameson, and then kind of got it rolling from there. He was just talking to me for a while throughout the duration of the spring semester, and I ended up here in the summer.
What do you think of St. George so far?
It's a little warm. It's about 10 degrees hotter on average than my hometown, but it's not too bad. It's a quiet town. I mean, I could tell this is the type of place where you come to relax and raise your family and stuff like that. So really homely. I actually quite like it.
Just curious, what's a game day tradition, or do you have any superstitions that you have to do every time you suit up to go play a game in the game?
Yeah, so I listen to music throughout the duration of the week, and whatever song is just kind of like speaking out to me, or like, you know, whatever song I'm feeling that week, I'll just add it to a playlist of its own, and I'll usually get about 4 to 5 songs, maybe a little bit more, and I'll listen to specifically that playlist before the game and like nothing else, because it just kind of helps me remember like all my training throughout the week, all the practices that I had, because I was listening to those songs throughout the week.
That's a great answer. Give me 2 artists that are on the playlist for last week.
Oh, yeah. For last week? I believe I had Don Tolliver on my playlist, and what else did I have? Young Jeezy.
Okay.
Young Jeezy.
Okay.
Kind of an old school guy.
Big
Big
family? Do you have a lot of brothers and sisters?
No, so I have a family. It's my mom and my 2 brothers. I'm the youngest child, so I got 2 older brothers, and they say I'm spoiled, but I don't know. I don't see it. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Tell us maybe something that not a lot of people know about Chris Street. Is there something that you've done or do that maybe not a lot of your teammates might know about?
I'm fluent in sign language.
Okay.
Yeah, fluent in sign language.
I don't think any of the other teammates probably are fluent in sign language.
Yeah, I don't really think so. I mean, if they do take the class, though, I can help them. You know.
Did you have somebody deaf in your family, or did you just pick it up and want to learn that?
So when I was going to high school, I was kind of picking my classes, and I wanted to pick something different. Everybody takes Spanish. Everybody knows Spanish. I just wanted to kind of like go outside the box. So I was like thinking of taking like French, Mandarin, or sign language, and I decided I settled on sign language. I took it all throughout high school.
That's awesome. Chris Street hanging out with us here. All right, let's go back to last Saturday night down there at Legionnaire Stadium. Chris, you take me through that touchdown pass play where you got into the end zone.
So it was a 4th and 3 situation. We were getting close to the red zone, so I knew we had to convert as a team, as an offense. So I had my route, and I knew that I was the read. So basically, if nobody was in my zone, I was going to get the ball. And as I was on my way out, I just knew that I was going to get it. And sure enough, Deacon threw me a good ball. I caught it, and I turned the corner, and nobody was there. So I was running down the sideline, and there was a safety coming down and a linebacker coming from the inside. And I was going to try and run him over because it was a little late in the game, but and I just wanted to make a statement, let him know that I'm not done fighting. So, but he started looking at my legs, so I knew immediately he was going to try and take my ankles out. So I made a move on him, and the linebacker decided not to wrap me up. He tried to just boom me, and they couldn't tackle me, so I just ran in the end zone.
Where does that rank in all the touchdowns you've scored, Pee-wees, middle school, high school, college? Where's that rank?
I'd say it's about middle of the pack. I think I've definitely had some more exciting touchdowns that were way more athletic, way more challenging for me to complete, but it was just a touchdown nonetheless, and it was something to help my team out. So I really enjoyed, helping out there.
Well, and maybe your first touchdown ever in an NFL stadium too, right?
Yeah, actually no.
No.
Actually no. I got the luxury of playing in Levi Stadium in high school, and I got to score. I scored, I think, twice that day in Levi Stadium. It was pretty cool. It was a huge stadium. I really enjoyed it.
Hanging out here talking with Chris Street. All right, let's bring it back to what does the offense got to do this week? What's the message been in practice as you guys get ready for game number 3, a home game against NAU?
We just have to have 11 men doing their job. That's really the big thing. We got to execute, and that's what we have to do as an offense. I know sometimes on defense, one player can falter, but the unit will kind of pick it up. But on offense, it's really important that everybody knows what they're doing and everybody's doing the right thing. So execution is really another big key to the game. And I honestly believe if we execute and we all do our job, we pin our ears back, and we actually just play loose and let it fly, then we'll be just fine.
Chris Street, everybody. Man, good to talk to you.
Likewise.
Some great stories for us, and good luck against NAU.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
That was actually a lot of fun. I learned something there. Chris Street knows sign language. That's pretty cool. I don't think anybody else on the Trailblazer team knows sign language. Instead of taking Spanish in high school, he took sign language. Ken Beezer, the athletic director, Utah Tech, join us. You don't know sign language, do you?
It depends. Baseball signs, football signs. Yeah, that's our sign language that we know. But no, I do not.
Glad to have Ken Beezer joining us. He's been busy since taking over as the athletic director here at Utah Tech. And how are fall sports rolling along right now?
Going very well. Women's volleyball is off to a strong start. They beat Robert Morris today. I think their record right now is 6-2. There was some big wins over Gonzaga, and they beat Middle Tennessee yesterday, so they're starting off strong. Women's soccer is strong.
Doing great.
Yeah, they're doing very well. We had a tough one against Boise State. We got the University of Idaho tomorrow on the road. And men's soccer, just last week, a 1-1 draw with number 18th ranked Portland, the University of Portland, which is very substantial.
Of course, everybody in town, though, pays close attention to the football team. Big one tonight. Give us your take on NAU coming to town. It's the UAC versus the Big Sky.
This is a great rivalry. In fact, I was talking with the athletic director and some of his staff, yesterday and then again today about it, and they said we need to make this rivalry big.
Yeah.
We're close. We are their closest opponent. Obviously SU, we have SUU, but they're saying NAU and Utah Tech should be playing every year in every sport. And I agree with them. It's too close. The institutions, look a lot alike. But, I really like this rivalry with NAU. And they love the area. They could not believe the area. Some of them haven't been here. They've driven through, but they have not pulled off the road outside to fill up with gas and get a hamburger. And they were just blown away by the beauty and the size.
Hey, let's be honest. They like it because it's been so cold up there. They like to come down and warm up. And we like going up there because we can cool down a little bit.
Exactly. Exactly. It is a great place to visit, Flagstaff, particularly in the summer months.
So tell us a little bit about your perspective on the recent news of some of these Mountain West schools moving on over to the Pac-12.
I can't say that I'm surprised. I don't think anybody's surprised. The only surprise is the number of schools they took and the ones they didn't take. It's almost like they didn't finish the mill. You look at it, they take 4 teams, and they got to take 2 more, and they probably want to get a total of 4 more, what everybody's anticipating. So it's kind of like, that you're waiting for that second shoe to hit the floor. And so it doesn't surprise me. The only thing that surprised me is that they didn't do the full meal deal, I guess, lack of a better way to put it. And we're going to see what happens next.
Coach, what's the biggest thing that people are asking you right now, and what's something that you're really proud of right now as you guys have kind of finally finished that transition to full status as Division I?
I don't think people fully understand the challenge that it was for the institution to transition to Division I. The last 4 years, the first year, our 4-year transition was COVID. and which really set us back.
Tough, yeah.
And then the next year, you get the transfer portal, because it started initially you could transfer once, and then it goes so you can transfer how many times you want, and then the NIL. All that came in that 4-year span of time, and it's like the goal that you're trying to get to when you start, but that goal just kept moving and moving every year. And so to fully transition, I think, is in large part to the great people we have working around here, the vision of Biff Williams when he was here and the people working on that. I'm most proud of being able to do that. We still have a long ways to go. We really do.
Biff Williams, he left. That's an open position. What can you
Correct.
tell us about when that will be filled? I know that's everything's kind of in limbo right now.
Yeah, it is. Courtney White has stepped into the role as interim, and we really haven't skipped a beat. And it's been great. He's done a nice job, and we haven't skipped a beat with him. And we're looking at, this next spring, probably having some answers this next spring about who the permanent president will be.
Real quickly, before we let you go, Ken Beezer, Athletic Director, Utah Tech with us. Tell everybody a little bit about Coach Anderson. This is only, game 3 of the season, but he's a guy you went out through the process and hired, and he's now your head coach here at Utah Tech. What do you love about Coach Anderson and the staff he's built?
I love the staff. I mean, it's a football staff. I mean, they're football all the way. Great recruiters. They came in late, and, we had some losses with the transfer portal. But they do a great job of what I call playing complementary football, and that is where the offense, the defense, and the special teams play off of each other. We've had some injuries. We got some depth issues at several positions, but I think they're going to get it put together.
Ken, we got some friends here.
We got the band, we got the
these are awesome
cheerleaders.
back here.
Everybody's here. They're ready to rock and roll.
You need me to step out of the way is what you need me to do here.
No,
We're always happy to talk to you.
no,
of
we
course.
love talking to you. We just all of a sudden we got the cheerleaders, the band. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll enjoy the band. We'll get you some more news and notes and thoughts. Ken Beezer, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Pleasure.
All right,
Thank
quick
you.
break. Back with more of the Tailgate Show right after this, live from Greater Zion Stadium.
Fabulous Freddy's is the locals' choice for a full-service car wash. It's fast. Have your car washed in just 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's always keeps it clean inside and out, with 2 Southern Utah locations as well as in Vegas, Lehigh, and Sandy.
Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Kanab is open daily for free family fun. Take a tour, volunteer, hike a trail, or bring home a new best friend. Visit Best Friends today for magical memories that'll last forever.
Back live here. Oh my goodness. I can barely hear.
The band's loud.
It's game day, baby. Trailblazers, Lumberjacks coming at you from Greater Zion Stadium. Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster. This is fun, Caden. This is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about. Absolutely. Cheerleaders, band, they're all here ready to go. This happens every tailgate as well. They come on over and get the tailgate ready to rock and roll here for the game tonight.
Should be very interesting if you're one of those people that pays attention to the odds. The FCS lines come out usually game day. Lumberjacks road favorites tonight by 3 touchdowns, 20-point favorites. So Utah Tech after losing 72-14 at UNLV. By the way, did you see UNLV last night?
Yeah.
Huge win, 23-20. That was really impressive. And of course, I think that line is obviously what it is because we saw the Lumberjacks play Arizona last week. They held McMillan in check, losing only 22-10, but had the lead in that first half.
They did. They played a really good second quarter. They scored all 10 of their points in that second quarter. Arizona did come back to finish the job, but it was still a really good game for them, and they were able to prove why today they're the favorites in this game against Utah Tech.
What do you think about the quarterback play so far? It's going to be Deacon Hill, Coach Anderson, in our weekly Zoom with the coach on Tuesday. He said, hey, there's no question, he is QB1 right now for the team.
Yeah, he is through 2 games. You know, he's passing right around that 50% mark. He's got 2 touchdowns in that last game. First game was a little rough. He got one on his feet. We'll give him that. Deacon Hill getting one on his feet. But with that QBR sitting at 106, you'll take that. That's really not too bad through 2 games. So he's established himself as that number 1 position.
Don't be surprised if you see the local product, though. Reggie Graff gets some runs again. 4 for 4 passing last week and over 30 yards rushing. like he is kind of that dual threat, change the pace, and they have packages. We knew that going into the season, and we've really seen that in the first 2 weeks. It'll be interesting to see exactly how much work Reggie Graff gets tonight.
Yeah, Reggie's the guy that they kind of bring in when they just need a little extra speed from the ground as well. But you know what? Passing game, he's 100% right now on his completion percentage. Granted, it's only been 5 passes, but still, you know that he can still be a dual threat. So when he's checked into the game, the opposing defense has to realize there's no guarantee he's just going to run the ball here. You still have a little bit of a surprise when Reggie Graff gets checked into the ball game.
Trailblazers kind of still waiting to see who kind of that go-to receiver will be. You know, last 2 years we had Joey Hobart. Then last year it was Bo Sparks. This year, Bryce Parker, the true freshman, shown signs. N.A. Falai got hurt. There's some guys capable, but we're still kind of looking. The tight ends seem to be really strong. The running back position, we got a lot of threats. In a game like this tonight against NAU, do you put more emphasis in the trenches or the skill position guys if Utah Tech's going to find a way to get a victory tonight?
I feel like you got to put a lot of emphasis on the trenches here just because you need to protect your quarterback and give him time to get the ball out of his hands, right? You know, the trenches lead to the passing game, which is always important, right? So one thing leads to the other. So I say get it done in the trenches first, establish that really well, and then let the passing game take over from there.
Closing in on the end of our portion of the pregame show. In just a few minutes, we're going to go upstairs inside Greater Zion Stadium. Rod Zundel, Max Christensen III. But, Caden, thoughts on this game? What's the X factors? What does Utah Tech got to do to get their first win of the season?
I think part of it is just establishing both the run and the passing game, kind of what we were alluding to before. I would love to see a guy like Chris Street go off today and really just get the ball moving. You know, we talked, as you had talked to him earlier in the week, and we saw here in the tailgate show, you know, he's a guy that was really relied upon last year. We've seen a little bit more from him in the last few games for sure, but I want to see him just have a breakout game. And so for me, he is personally my X factor. I want to see Chris Street get running.
This is the all-time series. This is 1-1. So kind of a rubber match tonight. Winner of this game will have a 2-1 advantage in the all-time series. Last year, 56-35, Utah Tech won at the Walkup Sky Dome in Flagstaff. It's going to be fun tonight. They are a little shorthanded. There's 4 or 5 guys that will not go that are starters, at least at the start of the season. In particular, linebacker, kind of the heart and soul of this team, Jared Fotu. So they're going to be a little thin at that linebacker position tonight, Caden. That's going to be interesting because Flagstaff, you know, the boys that are lumberjacks, they come in, they bring the lumber, baby, and this is going to be a physical game, I feel like, tonight, and the depth of Utah Tech will be tested.
It really will, yeah. The depth is definitely going to be tested, and we saw what they were able to do against Arizona. The defense itself is going to be really strong here tonight, so you're going to have to try to break through it on the offensive side. We talked about Utah Tech having a strength in the defensive side as well, so this might end up being even a lower scoring game. I guess we'll find out by the end of it all tonight, but two really strong defenses going to be going head-to-head.
Home game number 2. Fans are out. As you can see, cheerleaders are out behind us here. The band is rocking, and we're closing in on kickoff here.
And we should also point out Military Appreciation Night tonight at Greater Zion Stadium.
Thank you to all our military. My dad was a Vietnam vet, so I got a great appreciation. If you're a vet or a first responder, come get honored tonight, get in for free, and enjoy the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure that all of our military members, that they know that and that they come and enjoy the game.
Wonder if there'll be some trickeration tonight. Do you feel like there's going to be over/under 1.5 trick plays tonight between both teams?
I would like to say over. I love some good trick plays. So personally, I hope it's over.
I do too. Let's hope for a fun game and a hometown win. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Fan Sports Network and on Trailblazer Sports Vision. It's all presented by Sand Hollow Resort, Sport Court of Southern Utah, Ernie's Stores and Ernie's Sinclair Station, Swinson and Shelley Attorneys, and Sun State Companies. If you need some landscaping, call Sun State. Caden Formaster, Devin Dixon, wrapping it up. That was fun. The tailgate. We had the men's basketball team. They were cooking ribs over here.
Yeah.
It looks like they had a mean cornhole game going, and then we just had all the fans out here outside the stadium, and now we're going to go inside the stadium.
Absolutely. Going to be sending it up to Rod Zundel, Max Christensen to get you ready for this Northern Arizona team. meeting up against Utah Tech, our Trailblazers at home at Greater Zion.
All right, it's been fun. For Caden Formaster, I'm Devin Dixon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game, everybody. Caden will be bringing you the halftime show a little bit later on tonight, but after a quick timeout, we're going to go to Rod Zundel, Max Christensen. Enjoy the game tonight, everybody.
Oh, you forgot. Bye.
Hey, let's go. Let's get it, baby. Out 3, 1, 2, 3.
Garrett Fotunik. Ball on the ground. A fumble recovery by Utah Tech. Makes the dive. Catch touchdown. Trailblazers.
Welcome to Trailblazer Kickoff, presented by Camping World of St. George. Your next great outdoor adventure begins under the big American flag.
Let's go.
Trailblazers back home trying to break into the win column for the first time this season. Northern Arizona comes to town after a strong showing at 20th ranked Arizona. We're 30 minutes from kick. The Trailblazers and Lumberjacks.
And welcome inside Greater Zion Stadium as we get ready for kickoff. Utah Tech and the Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona. Hi there, everybody. Glad to have you aboard. Rod Zundel along with Mighty Max Christensen III, former Trailblazer defensive lineman. All right, Max, the guys talked about it in the first half hour, but after a brutal first 2 weeks against Montana State, the third-ranked team in FCS, and then going to UNLV, their best team in 30 or 40 years, and they're receiving top 25 votes. They may even be in the top 25 after they knocked off Kansas on the road last night. So after that, they talked about coming down to reality, a little team more on their level, but you know, Northern Arizona, they gave Arizona, 20th ranked team in the country, in Tucson last week. They gave them all they wanted in the first half. They dominated them.
Yeah, this is not going to be a cakewalk at all for Utah Tech. Right? But as you said, the season kind of starts tonight for them. You get a really tough team in Montana State, a really good team in UNLV. Now you're coming back a little bit more to your level. But again, the defense, especially for Northern Arizona last week, played fantastic. Yeah. They swarmed around, got a couple sacks, made things really, really uncomfortable for the Wildcats down there in Tucson.
We'll talk more about the Lumberjacks, especially defensively, coming up. But when you look at last year's game, this is the third meeting between these two. Last year you went down to Flagstaff and you kind of thumped them. You were up like 30 points in the fourth quarter till they rallied a little bit. But your defense forced 5 turnovers and 2 defensive touchdowns by the Trailblazers. But we can throw all that around the window. They completely got rid of every person on their football staff, director, football operations, trainers, everything. New staff. They got 65 new players from a year ago. That's unheard of. And then, Utah Tech, of course, Lance Anderson, all but one is a new coaching staff. So none of that matters. What happened last year is completely different.
Yeah, I've been telling everybody that it does. In this stage of college football, you can't really compare last year's game to this year's game because you're going to see so much turnover with the transfer portal, with coaches coming and going, all that kind of stuff. So we look back at last year, it was fun, it was good, and the Trailblazers got that win. But this year, completely new coaching staffs on both sides, a ton of new faces, as you see for the Trailblazers over the last couple of weeks, and you're going to see even more tonight with some of their injuries.
That's true. Utah Tech, of course, Eni Falai still out. He was injured in the first game in the fourth quarter. Didn't play last week. He's going to be out for a few more weeks. But the offense, in the first game, they were 1 for 12, third down conversion, and then they were 1 for 11 or 1 for 13 against UNLV. But you can see right there, they did have a couple of long scoring drives. Third play of the game, Alec Burton, Chris Street, a 31-yard touchdown reception. So they were able to move the ball a little bit more, and they had some big plays, but then they were brought back because of penalties.
Yeah, you got to be able to sustain drives in college football, especially with this team. We saw against Montana State 2 weeks ago, they weren't able to sustain drives. The defense was on the field 45 minutes of the 60. That's not going to equal. That's not a great amount of time to get those guys rest, get them water, let them refocus.
Yeah, the score obviously was ugly at UNLV last week against a very good Rebel team. But there were some bright spots. They had a couple of sustained drives. They had a couple of plays that were called back. The defense stopped the offense when they started in the red zone on that side of the field. So there were some positives, even though the score was ugly.
Yeah, you got to be able to look at the positives, especially in a game like that. FCS versus FBS, pick out the bright spots, recover, come back, build on those. You can't always build on the negatives. Yeah. Build on some positives and come back, regroup, and play a really good Northern Arizona team here at home.
Okay, being a defensive guy that you are, help me find a positive in 843 yards rushing this defense has given up in the first 2 games. Is there a positive?
You guys have a lot of room to improve. Okay,
that's a
that's a good.
You can only go up from here.
Yeah, you can't really go down from that, as you mentioned. So the positive is regroup, refocus, and basically, guys, if we just change a couple things, we can bring that number down dramatically when it comes to yards per game we're giving up on the ground.
Yeah, Rebels had about 500 yards and 300 yards given up to Montana State.
Yeah.
But a lot of that was quickness, and a lot of it was missed tackles. I mean, they were there, but they just missed some tackles. I talked with Patrick Moynihan during the week, the defensive coordinator for Utah Tech, and he said, yeah, we've been having a lot of tackling drills. You know what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
A bad tackling game, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, it's coaches and players go back to the drawing board. And you kind of redo your scheme a little bit. You think about who's going to fit here, who's going to fit here. How can we just be a little bit more productive in stopping the run? Do we have to send more guys? Do we have to just bolster our front? What are the things we need to do? And you're really able to look in the mirror and dissect yourself from that standpoint of what can we do better, what can we improve on, and what can we build on some of the things that we did well.
When you dissect yourself, that's pretty painful, right?
It is, both metaphorically and physically.
So. Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
All right, before we put last week to bed, let's go back to Las Vegas. It was the first meeting between the Rebels and the Trailblazers, and let's take a look back at the sights and sounds of the game against UNLV.
Utah Tech looking to beat the odds here in Las Vegas.
Let's go! Let's go!
And roll the dice and try to pull off a monumental upset against UNLV. Deacon Hill rolling right.
Wide open.
Go,
30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Utah Tech.
Wants to go deep across the middle. Caught at the 15-yard line by Bryce Parker.
Let's go, baby.
Caught by Chris Street. First down, 25-20.
Whoa!
There goes Chris Street. Touchdown! Utah Tech. Trailblazers did a lot of things better. Next week, they just got to finish it off.
All right, Max, anyone who's played the game, you've had a game where you just want to forget about it, and you have to because you got to have a short memory because you play again 7 days later. But is that possible? I mean, or does it sting a little bit more in college?
The nice part about football, Rod, is that we get hit in the head hard enough and enough times that short-term memory is not a big issue for some guys on the football field. Yeah. But, yeah, you got to be able to flush it down the toilet, be able to regroup, just look yourself in the mirror, realize the things you did wrong, don't focus on those, but know what you got to improve on and push through to the next week. That's all it takes.
All right. Well, now it's time to go to the film room, and head coach of the Trailblazers, Lance Anderson, takes us back to UNLV, shows us what they did right and those positives that they can build upon in this edition of Film Session.
I want to show two positive plays from the UNLV game, one on offense, one on defense. To start with, I want to start with our opening touchdown on offense. Here in this particular play, we are in what we call 13 personnel. That means we have one running back and 3 tight ends on the field. The reason behind this play is we felt like there was a good possibility that if we got in this personnel group, in this formation, we could predict a little bit of what UNLV would play to it, where we expected them to play, cover 2 to this side of the field, cover 4 to this side of the field. So what we wanted to do is release our receiver on an outside release here and run a comeback, hoping that we could get this safety to move over the top. We'll release the backside tight end on a drag, hoping that that would pull the backside safety with him. Then we'll release Alec Burton, the tight end here, down the seam. And if we got the expected result from both those safeties, we felt like this should be open here. We got what we expected from both safeties. Deacon Hill makes a great read, seeing that he's got one safety over the top. He's got the other safety chasing the drag by the backside tight end, and Alec Burton is wide open. So this was a great play call, great play design by Coach Stevens, and a great result. So I'm going to move ahead to our 2-minute drive at the end of the first half. So defensively, we were able to get UNLV in a 2-minute situation where we forced them into 2-minute mode where they had to throw the football. We were able to force a 3rd and 10 here. And again, this play just illustrates the importance for us of being able to stop the run, being able to get teams in situations where they have to throw the ball. When we do that, then we can play a variety of coverages, variety of stunts and pressures up front. On this particular 3rd and 10, we decided to play cover 2, where we're going to have 2 deep half safeties here, corners out in the flat. And then a big key on this play too, when UNLV runs this inside receiver down the seam, is our middle linebacker, Spencer Rich, being able to run with this seam. So the first thing you'll see is that we have great coverage across the board. But then the next thing that happens is we'll run a twist here between our 2 defensive tackles. They'll come free, and ultimately Rick Mawae will come free for the sack. So it's just a great example here of the rush and coverage being able to work together. So as we play this here, we'll see the receiver down the middle, great coverage everywhere, and then Rick Mawae come free for the sack. We watch it from the end zone. We'll see the stunt between the defensive tackles, Rick Mawae on the rush, and a sack. So just a great example of 2-minute football. Great execution on 3rd down. This week we just need to do a great job of stopping the run and getting teams in those passing situations.
And Max, the way Coach Anderson diagrammed though, and also broke that down, the plays are there. The Trailblazers just need to finish them off.
Yeah, they have a really good scheme, and you could see it was working, some of it, against UNLV, but it just wasn't reflected in points and crossing the goal line and things like that. But you have to be able to execute and avoid penalties, right? A guy catches the ball out in the flat. Turf monster gets him. Guy coming around for a sweep. Someone doesn't hold their block. Yep. Penalties bring back big plays. Yep. A lot of things like that. And again, that's part of football. But you really have to be able to eliminate those, especially when you're playing a top-tier team like the Trailblazers always do.
They could have had at least 3 more sustained drives because of penalties that brought back, because of the turf monster, because not holding a block, one guy. So they got some cleaning up to do. Yes. And tonight against Northern Arizona, that's what they want to do, a team that's a little bit more on their level. I'm not calling this a must-win, but I'm calling this a game they've got to win. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is one that they've got to get right.
Yes,
tonight.
yes. This can be the springboard game into the season for them, right? I tell a lot of people this is where the Trailblazers season starts. Okay? You're bringing in a whole new team. You play a great Montana State team, very established. Yeah. You play a really good Mountain West opponent in UNLV. Again, not saying this is going to be a walk in the park.
No,
because Northern Arizona gave Arizona all they could handle, as we talked about down in Tucson. But again, a more familiar opponent and someone you're a little bit more on their level.
All right. Well, then I'll say this. Welcome to week number 1 of this new season, right? When we come back of this new season, we will go inside the helmet and get you a bird's eye view through the eyes, through the face mask of 1, Scooter Jackson. That's when Trailblazer Kickoff comes back.
D.R. Horton is America's largest home builder, but with a local heart. Nestled just west of the Sand Hollow Recreation Area is a 600-acre master-planned community with beautifully designed single-family homes, cottages, and townhomes called Long Valley. Visit us at drhorton.com and join us in continuing the American dream of home ownership and build your next home with D.R. Horton, America's builder.
Experience the magic of southern Utah from the sky and the ground at Confetti Pebbles Hot Air Balloons. They take you on breathtaking journeys across the stunning landscapes of St. George, Hurricane, and beyond. But why just visit when you can live here? Priority First Real Estate is dedicated to helping you find your dream home. Together, they bring you closer to the community, closer to nature, closer to home. Confetti Pebbles Hot Air Balloons and Priority First Real Estate, where adventure meets home.
Hey there, sports fans. Ready to take a time out from the sidelines and jump into the action? St. George Regional Airport has you covered. Score big with convenient flights that take you from our Red Rocks to destinations around the globe. Whether it's the bright lights of L.A. or an exotic getaway across the Pacific, your adventure starts right here at home. When you're planning that epic getaway, St. George Regional Airport is your home field advantage.
And welcome back inside Greater Zion Stadium. About 15 minutes to kick off. Utah Tech and Northern Arizona. Rod Zundel along with Mighty Max Christensen. And Max, Utah Tech coming in 0-2. Lance Anderson looking for win number 1 of his head coaching college career. And he's itching to get it, too.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can get it tonight. Again, you're on your home turf against a good team. But being at home is an advantage, right? You go up to trying to go up to Flagstaff and play is hard. You're playing at high elevation, 6,000 feet, a little hard to breathe up there. Trust me, I would know trying to run up there last year. Okay, but being down here this year, you know, a common opponent on your home turf, good place to get a win to start your head coaching career if you're Lance Anderson.
All right, this is my this is my most fun part of the show. I like this part.
Yeah.
Time now to go inside the helmet. A bird's eye view, looking through the eyes, through the face mask of one of the Trailblazers players and inside the helmet. Today, we join defensive back Scooter Jackson at recent practice to get a bird's eye view through his eyes at what he sees at practice.
Scooter Jackson. I'm from Compton, California. Come to practice with me. All right, Lou. Hey, let crack, Will. Hey, we gonna do it, hey, every time, just like that. What's the key to success this week? Tackle. I tackle. Foster Slaughter, come here. What's the key to success this week?
Play our keys, do our job, and our team don't work, so let's just work on it.
Yeah, do your job. Do your job. Let's go, Spence. 4-2. Let them know your name.
Huh?
Let them know what's up.
You know, we just about to start running through some scouts.
Hey, crane. Hey, mesh left. Hey, mesh left. Hey, Jay. Hey, Lawrence. Hey, let's bubble or screen to. Hey, let's screen to. Hey, they like to run the little hit screen to the slot right here, so. Yep. Cause he gonna block you instead of me. What he gonna try? Bum. Hey, Tilly, come here. Let him know something. Bro.
Hey, man, I'm here. You know I'm here.
Yeah. It's nice out here. I don't know what my mommy doing. Miss my mommy. Sheridan. Hey, Sheridan. Come here, bro. Tell them what's up, bro.
Yeah, we finna go crazy or something.
Yeah. Dang, I can't even get no target in practice no more. I got one target. Let's go. I'm letting y'all meet the defensive guys because, you know, us on defense, we really don't get that much attention. Hey, come on, Q. Come on, Q. We good, Q. You good, Q. Come back. Oh, I've been watching film. I've been watching that film. Nah, I'm good, coach. I don't need no breather. I'm good. Hope you enjoyed watching me practice. Let's go.
One thing about Scooter Jackson, he's not shy.
No, definitely not shy.
And he's been able to back it up. He's had a pretty nice first couple of games. So he's holding that defensive backfield down pretty well.
Yeah, he has.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get the final word from the head coach, Lance Anderson. That's when Trailblazer Kickoff comes back.
Welcome to St. George Academy, home of the Dragon Slayers, where academic excellence meets individualized learning right here in Southern Utah. At St. George Academy, we believe in challenging our students with rigorous curriculum, preparing them for a demanding college experience and beyond. And it's all tuition free. Our unique Pathway University program offers accelerated courses, allowing students to earn college credits in high school. Experience the St. George Academy difference, schedule your tour today, and join us on your educational journey.
Yesco is a proud partner of Trailblazer Sports Vision and Utah Tech Athletics. Yesco specializes in manufacture of custom electric signs and displays. From the smallest to the largest, Yesco can design, manufacture, install, and maintain an identification package that is tailored to your specific needs. Yesco has been serving Utah businesses for well over 100 years with quality signage and exceptional service. To see how Yesco can serve you, go to yesco.com.
Craving something sweet but healthy? Come to Berries and Cream, the original spot for fresh berries in our delicious sweet cream. Locally owned and operated right here in St. George. We offer a cold, refreshing treat that's perfect for the southern Utah climate. Fresh fruit has never tasted so good. Berries and Cream, the original taste of St. George.
All right, 9 minutes until kickoff. Utah Tech and Northern Arizona. Rod Zundel along with Max Christensen. Time now for the final word with the head coach, Lance Anderson, getting ready for the kickoff with the Lumberjacks.
We got to be locked in because this is our last practice so that we can play well on Saturday.
Coach, give us an idea of how practice has gone this week getting ready for Northern Arizona.
I think this has been one of our better practice weeks. We started out with a good Monday practice, followed up with a good Tuesday. I think we put a good week together, much more consistent, much more physical, better effort than what we saw last week. Again, you never know how that translates to the game, but it's encouraging. If we keep doing things like that, keep practicing hard, we're going to get better.
What's the main emphasis been this week?
You know, on defense, we've got to do a better job of stopping the run. That's been so evident in the first 2 weeks. So just trying to be sound with our run fits, a lot of tackling drills, things like that. Offensively, it's just we're close. It's just being able to finish, being able to execute, getting all 11 guys doing their job.
5, touchdown Utah Tech!
So offensively, what have you been doing for them to finish off a play and finish off a series?
The big message has just been emphasis on just doing their job, and we need all 11 guys doing their part, you know, whether it's using the correct technique, correct fundamentals, catching the football, lining up in the right place, just little things like that. It's the little things right now are the things that can make a big difference.
Against UNLV, the opportunities were there. You just didn't capitalize on it. Is there a sense as a head coach that maybe they're trying too hard and maybe trying to do too much and sometimes get out of position?
I think we felt a lot of that the first 2 weeks, where our message to try to combat that has been you have to trust your coaching. You have to trust your training, your technique, everything we've been doing for months now. when you get to the game, it doesn't require more. It doesn't require something different. I know the guys are amped up. They're anxious to play. They know we're playing good opponents, but it's just being able to trust what you've done in practice and carry that over to the game. And I think, we've got some work to do in those areas.
Now, you played college football. How difficult is that to trust and not try to do too much?
Oh, it's hard, especially when you're really trying to build a program and establishing a culture. Guys feel like they put in so much work and they're so amped up and eager to play. And a lot of times you just feel like, hey, I need to do more. I need to do extra. This is going to require something different rather than just relying on your training.
Northern Arizona, impressive performance, especially in the first half against number 20 Arizona.
Yeah, I thought throughout the game they played very well on defense, put a lot of pressure on Arizona. Just as a team, they played very hard. They've got some good skill guys on offense. It starts with the quarterback, but talented running backs, talented receivers. So it's going to be another big test for us.
Key word:
execution. Again, we've got to be able to execute. That's what it boils down to.
All right, Max, final thoughts.
Stop the run and control the pace on offense.
There you go. We are all set for kickoff. Utah Tech and Northern Arizona. Can the Trailblazers break into the win column? You can hear the game on the Fan Sports Radio Network and also watch it on ESPN.